Welcome everybody, this is Heroes and Brews, nerdy reviews, and we're doing A War for the Planet of the Apes. And I saw that alone, unfortunately. I was sad. I didn't get to see it with you guys.
Sorry.
I was all alone in my theater with 5 people. It was nice. IMAX.
It was really good. I really enjoyed myself.
I was reclined in my seat, like laying over here like this, watching the whole time. It was so sweet.
It's good. You know, I've never done that before.
It's nice.
I thought about it. I thought about doing it, and then I just thought I'm gonna like see somebody, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, what are you doing? Who are you with?" And it's like, it's just me today.
Just hanging out.
Just stopping by, you know. And I don't know.
But I did get a seat in the middle of the theater, so it was like dead on, straight. It was perfect.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, I'm glad. Did you enjoy the film?
I did enjoy the film.
Cool.
I thought it was a great ending to that kind of trilogy going on.
Yeah.
I knew once they showed Cornelius that Caesar wasn't going to make it to the end of the movie. However, my whole perception of the movie would have changed if when and how he died was differently. I mean, we can go into that a little later because this is going to be spoiler heavy.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Now. So, yeah.
Spoilers are spoilers.
I loved the plot of it. I didn't know what they were going to do, especially with Caesar going on his vendetta. I did not expect that his crew of apes were going to get captured by the colonial. Did not
Colonel?
know. Yeah, the colonel. Sorry.
That's all right. I like that though.
Yeah, right.
The colonial. that sounds a lot better. I think Matt Reeves fucked up.
What's in this? 7.5%. I feel like it's 85%. So I didn't expect him to have all his apes captured. I thought it was going to be a new set of apes that got captured at first. I thought he was going to find more of his own, like, not disease because it actually makes them more intelligent. I thought there was going to be more of that type of apes captured by them, and he was going to liberate them and bring them to his people. Little did I know it was his people, his son. And it was cool to see his downfall to his triumph, because Caesar, the whole time throughout the trilogy, obviously the disease came out, they worked on these apes, they got intelligent, they separated from the humans, then they had that little war with the humans until was Kobar?
Oh, Koba.
Yeah. He
what a jerk.
Ruined everything for the apes, and then they're all getting captured because they were so powerful in the second movie. Yeah. Because they showed their dominance. They stood strong. They stand well against the humans, and then in this movie, the humans got the better of them, and obviously taking Caesar's kid and his wife just put him over the edge and just set him to a whole vendetta against the colonel.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think it was a great end to this trilogy. It was, I knew going into it, especially with the trailers, that it was going to be a very intense, heavy film, but I didn't realize how intense and heavy and emotional it was really going to be. I mean, it was kind of draining at the end. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm okay with it being as, you know, it was dark.
Yeah, it was.
It really was, and I don't think I was expecting it to be as dark as it was. But I will say, having Bad Ape in there was a nice little break.
Yeah, that was a great comic relief. Like, they did that so well.
They did need, like, it came at just the right time, and I'm glad they kept it through because I don't know. And it's weird for me to say this because I'm okay with really intense dramas and nobody smiling, but I don't know. When I went to go see this, I was kind of like, man, this is really weighing right now. And then to have him in there, it was a nice little like breather you could take.
Because it's a way we've never seen Caesar before. Like, he's that leader. He's confident. He's strong. He's leading his people to a better life. And we haven't seen the side of him so drained, and he's fighting for his people. And he, like, at first you can see in his face at times, like, he doesn't know what to do when he's trapped with all the apes. Like there's times where he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, that seeing him very vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, God, the effects alone were mind blowing. I mean, like the progression they've had from Rise to now, and what they're able to do with motion capture, the close up shots of Caesar's face that Andy Serkis was able to convey were unreal. Yeah. Like his angry face.
You can see all the emotion. Yeah, you can see all the emotion.
It's fantastic, man. I mean, sometimes there's one scene I'm thinking of in particular that the scene really stuck out to me was when the girl who I think they call her Nova.
Yes.
Because of that.
The Chevy Nova.
Yeah, that was cool. And as soon as she had that, I was like, I bet you they're going to refer to her as that.
Product placement.
Yeah, right? So then, it's great if she had like a Coke can.
Right.
You're Coca-Cola now.
The Chevy Nova.
She came out of where they, I guess, like Bad Apes hideout.
Yeah.
And there was the one gorilla who tucked the flower in her ear.
Oh, he was
There's something about that scene, like, and just seeing like those like pink flowers against like that white landscape because of the snow.
Yeah.
It was just such a beautifully shot film.
Yeah, it really was.
You know, that guy.
I couldn't get over Bad Ape. His comic relief was just perfect.
Man. He was great.
And like he didn't have like perfect English like Caesar, so it's funny when he was like, "Oh no, yeah."
That sounds just
no.
It's really good. It's a really good impression.
I try. My favorite was when what was it? He with the avalanche coming, and he's like, "Oh no!" Like, and they grab him and pull him. There were so many scenes where he was just like so confused and so like afraid because he didn't want to go back because he saw what happened with all the apes, and he just wanted to stay clear.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see him have a kind of a character arc because he was so afraid and lonely for so many years, just scavenging off things and trying to survive. And he was so afraid, yet he was helping pull the apes and the baby apes to safety. He went out to almost like grab Nova, and then he like ran down. So he's like, "Go, Nova's gone." But that was cool because the one ape, I forget his name, not Maurice.
The gorilla?
No, not the gorilla. The his lieutenant.
Oh, it was like right hand man.
Yeah, like went out there and like took a beating from the one gorilla that was the donkey.
Oh yeah.
That was brilliant. That was awesome by him. I don't ever cry with movies, but like I always like wanted to cry during this movie.
There was a lot of emotional parts. I mean, like I already said, I mean this movie's heavy. It's like primates. It's gorillas. It's monkeys. But you feel for them.
You do completely.
You felt for them from the beginning because
I wanted to cry more for them than any other sad movie I've seen that has humans in it.
Well, you root for the apes.
Yeah, you
because
do.
the way that I see it is that us assholes did this to them.
Yeah,
and they can't help but like we're the reason they're like this.
Yeah.
So all Caesar wants to do is
to separate and do their own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He just wants to live peacefully here and then have us over here, and then of course we come in and just try to take over like we do. And we should talk about Woody Harrelson and how incredible of a
I was so happy he had the disease at the end. Especially, did they show that disease in the other two films or no? Because I don't remember hearing about that.
I think it just it came about in this
with
film.
With Nova. Which it first started with Nova, like they saw it with her.
Well,
they were like going primitive.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. Mm. And then I understood why Woody Harrelson's character was doing it, the Colonel was doing it. But at the same time, like if you separate and you leave each other alone, you're not going to have to deal with any of that sickness. And they were just trying to kill all the apes just to get rid of everything. Meanwhile, it's probably inevitable because it's in everybody's system now, however it was transferred.
Yeah. And that's, I might have said this before, but I love villains that they're so ruthless, but then when you really understand their motive on why they're doing what they're doing, a part of you is kind of like, I kind of see where he's coming from, and I as horrible as a person he was in the movie, I'm like, shit, I can't blame him. I'm not saying I support him 100%, but I kind of like where the villain sort of tears the audience in half. For I get it. I mean, this is awful, but I totally understand where he's coming from.
And my thing is, like, obviously people were disagreeing with him because he took this army under himself, under his own under his own doing.
Yeah.
Because he had a whole other army ready to come blow his ass up because he wasn't listening to their rule.
Well, he wasn't aware, right? Didn't Caesar bring that to his attention?
That's why they were building the wall.
Oh, you're okay. You're right.
Yeah, because he was aware that they were going to come for him.
Yeah.
And they wanted to be ready for that.
Yeah.
But, he was an awesome character, the Colonel. I hated him the whole way. I don't know if he's a villain or a dick. Maybe that should be something in the future to happen.
We can maybe discuss that.
But...
He'd be a good one.
He stole it from me, kind of. I love Caesar, and I was intrigued to see what the Colonel was doing the whole time. Because...
Loved when he was on screen.
When we first saw him on screen, when he came, when he was about to jump off the waterfall and leave off the helicopter.
What an awesome scene.
Yeah.
Right there where he looks back. Oh my God.
My thing was, I knew things were going to hit the fan when his one soldier got the radio that they beat up. I killed the king, let's get out of here. Mm-hmm. And he didn't because he killed his son. Yeah. That's why when Caesar ran up and saw him, I was like, this is going to get real intense real quick. Yeah. And I knew that Cornelius wasn't going to die, obviously, because if they continue with this, Cornelius is going to be the...
If that little guy died, I don't know if I would have been able to make it through the movie. I'm like, this thing is already like...
Well, the thing is, the Planet of the Apes, the original Planet of the Apes, Cornelius was their leader.
Shit, I didn't even think of that.
I know this because my dad was big into Planet of the Apes, the older ones, and my confirmation name is kind of based off that.
Get the hell out of here.
My confirmation is Cornelius.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so...
You just went up on the nerd scale.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Bravo.
So...
Mine's Christopher.
That's why that whole Cornelius thing to me was so intriguing to me because, like I said, I knew Caesar wouldn't make it because Cornelius ended up taking the throne. Obviously, because his dad, Caesar, was on the throne. Yeah. Which we could segue into that a little bit, then we could probably wrap this up. Yeah. The way Caesar died, I thought was perfect. Yeah. He took, the arrow to the abdomen.
Yeah, the son of a bitch who he saved.
Yeah. And he got blown up by a donkey, which was awesome.
Oh, man.
And I had to say, I was so happy that I saw that grenade launcher explode him into pieces. Then I felt bad because donkey got the behind the head.
We should say, I mean, hopefully you guys have seen this. It is a spoiler review, but the way that they made these apes into slaves, and the fact to call them donkeys, which are animals that were known
and shave it into their backs.
I don't know. I don't keep repeating myself, but it's it's very.
I mean, I get why they did it because they wanted to survive, but at what cost?
I mean,
they treat you like shit. Yeah, they don't care if you die. They shave donkey into your back.
Yeah. Yeah, was it shaved or was it spray painted?
I think it might have been spray painted.
I can't. Yeah,
it might have been painted. But I think it was white.
It's just I don't know. It was intense to see. I mean, the scenes where they're working and then they're they're whipping an ape and Caesar yells at him to stop and he basically has the gun to his head and they shoot. I mean, it was a very intense movie. But I'm sorry, I kind of went on a tangent there.
No, that's good because to go with that, it was cool to see the change of power when he did yell that. Yeah. When he said stop, and he wasn't gonna give in, and luckily his apes started working again, so they didn't kill him. But if I was the colonel, I would have killed Caesar off the get-go. You kill their leader, they're not gonna try and do anything. I don't know why they kept him alive. That's my opinion. Yeah. I'm glad they did, but. Because it makes for the movie, but that's just my opinion.
I don't know. I mean, you could look at it as, I think it's just too easy to do that. And I think what makes a villain is to make the hero suffer. Yeah, it's true. You know what I mean? To just really, it's almost to the point where the hero, he just wants to give up. Yeah. I think that's the biggest, because you could take him out and that's that, but to make him watch all of his own kind suffer. I mean, the scene where he's tied up and they pour the ice water on him, and it's, you know what I mean? It's just, but Caesar just wouldn't back down.
No. Which was cool. And like I said, so the way he died, which made the movie for me, he didn't die in action. I thought he might have, like the explosions and everything.
Yeah.
The tanks coming in, the helicopters blowing stuff up. He was still in there.
Yeah.
Blowing up the whole oil tankers, the whole area just exploding.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the avalanche, and then you have all the army people from the other side looking at him.
Yeah.
There were so many ways he could have died.
I know.
And on the spot. And I'm glad he made it with his people to their homeland, their new homeland. And he was able to die knowing that he saved his people. They're in peace, they're away from everything, and they're going to live a good life. And he was able to die knowing that, which made me happy at the end.
It was sad. It was.
Like I said,
definitely teared up at the
There's
end,
many
for
times
sure.
that I almost cried. And I don't cry in movies. The last
Yeah.
movie I cried, funny we talked about it because it's gorilla-centric, Mighty Joe Young.
I knew you were going to say
That's
that.
the only movie I ever cried in.
Everybody-
When the Ferris wheel fell on that
Everybody
ape,
says that.
on that gorilla, I just lost it. I was like 10, 11, 12. That was literally the only movie I ever cried at.
Yeah.
I think I have a thing. I guess I have like a sentimental spot for like
For
gorillas
apes,
and
yeah,
apes.
yeah.
Like I don't know.
Now that I know it's a part of your name and everything
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. It was a sad, very sad ending, but I had a feeling it was going to end the way it did.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with the way that it ended. And I can't say enough. The emotion that was on the apes' faces is just unreal. I mean, you really, it could. I mean, they make it. They do it because it could be really silly and goofy looking, but the way that they make them appear, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
What they're able to do nowadays.
I agree.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you give it out of? Let's see. What should we do? Give it out of like 10 colonials.
10 Maurices. Because I don't want to rate anything based off that either.
Okay. Sorry, Maurice.
I know you're making fun of me.
No,
and
I'm not.
just so you know, if Maurice would have died, that would.
He was great.
Because he was like the sense of reason behind the whole.
And you need that.
Yeah.
You absolutely need that. I mean, because Caesar's like, no, like this is it. I want to do this on my own. And he's like, listen, dude, like you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But
it's a good thing he did because then he would have no clue that his people were captured. They would have been walking aimlessly.
Sure, absolutely.
But yeah, I'll give it like 25 out of 10 Maurices.
Oh, so you liked it?
Yeah.
So you really liked the movie?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's. I mean, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Solid score. Right?
I really liked it. I thought it was
I
perfect.
thought it was a great way to end the trilogy. I think, even though I gave it a 10 out of 10, I think I enjoyed Dawn more.
I think I like this
If I
better.
look at all three, this is just me. I think I enjoyed the movie Dawn from beginning to end a lot more. Even though I know I gave this a 10 out of 10, which is a perfect score.
Yeah.
Just because I think it was a brilliant film. I think what Matt Reeves was able to do with this and the story they were able to convey. Like I said, I think even though there was that little comic relief in there, to me, I wasn't expecting it to be so heavy, and I think that's what kind of, if I were to choose between
Because
the
Dawn was
three,
more enjoyable, there's more action, there's more war.
It's
there
not
was
even-
less,
it's
there
not even
was
that,
less
but-
emotion. It wasn't as heavy, like emotional wise, because
which is weird for me to say because usually movies like this I'm drawn to, but I just think it wasn't what I was expecting. Even though I think it was a fantastic film, and I think everybody should go out and see this.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
this trilogy alone,
trilogy's
I
amazing.
think will probably, I'll go on the record of saying this, go down as like one of the best trilogies ever made.
I can agree.
Yeah. So. there you go.
Yeah, so give us your opinion on War for the Planet of the Apes. We loved it. We want to know if you loved it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you later this week.
Peace.